Hey guys, Rob here with McDojo Life, and today's McDojo news is actually good news. For once, we have good news on this channel about a martial arts instructor who was able to stop domestic violence in the street. Let's check out the story. A martial arts champion recently made headlines, and this time it wasn't for a sporting achievement. Instead, it was for preventing a man from continuing to attack a woman in the middle of the street. The incident occurred on Thursday afternoon in Guayaquil, Ecuador, where the athlete applied a maneuver that allowed her to immobilize the attacker for several minutes until the police arrived. The woman who defended the victim from the attack is Ruth Torello, who is also the director of the Academy of Martial Arts where she works, teaching self-defense classes to women and girls. The girl was telling her husband to let go of her. So when she tried to break away, he takes a right hand and slaps her in the face. When I saw that reaction, the first thing I did was get between the two of them and grab the man's wrist and throw him to the ground, immobilizing him immediately because he wanted to continue. I applied an arm lock and waited for police to arrive and arrest him, said Torello. The incident was also announced by the mayor of Guayaquil, Cynthia Viteri, in a publication she made on Facebook in which congratulating the athlete for her actions. The post, accompanied by two photos, showed Torello subduing the attacker. The mayor also said the martial arts champion who works in the municipality giving self-defense classes to girls and women subdued the man who was taken away by the police. Very good, Ruth. The post rapidly went viral, and thousands of users reacted positively to the actions that the martial arts champion took. This girl is an example. She is humble but a warrior. It is our duty to recognize her brave and risky actions. My humble suggestion to you, speaking to the mayor, is that you give her unconditional support, wrote one internet user. Another, identified as Monica Montenegro, wrote, "Very well, my dear Ruth. May God bless you and take care of you always. I hope that the mayor recognizes you." It should be noted that in the program for the mass sports of martial arts in Guayaquil, more than 500 women are trained, who developed physical abilities and skills to be able to defend themselves in cases of violence. All right, let's dissect that. So, martial arts instructors just walking down the road, all of a sudden see some domestic violence happening. There are other people there. It's not like there aren't people there. In the photos, you can clearly see that there are people standing around the incident. So clearly this was domestic violence that was happening around other people who chose not to give a damn and allow it to happen. So this chick, Ruth, walks by and says, "Nah, we're not having that today." Winds up yoking the guy up, putting him on the ground, getting him in a back mount, as you can see in the photos, and holding him there until the police arrive. Now, normally on this page, most of the stuff that you would see is usually really negative. The stuff that we cover on this page is almost rarely to none positive. Stories like this, on the other hand, are awesome to cover. This is the kind of stuff I wish I can cover more, but it's up to us as martial artists to be able to provide more of those stories. I will say this could have gone really, really bad. It could have. But it didn't. And this woman was able to defend someone else who was being abused, who was a little weaker in the situation, and she was able to use her martial arts skills to yoke this guy up and slam him on the ground. Insert the people who are going to be complete douchebags in the comments section. There are going to be people in the comments section who are going to talk all about men versus women. This is not a discussion about men versus women. No one's having that discussion. This is a discussion about right and wrong. It was someone who was trained, who was able this time to use her skills to defend someone else who was not trained, who couldn't defend themselves. So sure, there's going to be yakking back and forth about people who are going to pick up on a subject that has nothing to do with this. Well, women can't always beat women. Of course. And men can't always beat men. And women can't always beat other women. Circumstances kind of dictate technique and dictate action. This time, the circumstance was there was someone who could do something who helped someone who couldn't, while she was surrounded by people who could have stepped in and chose not to. So I've talked about this for a while now, and I think this is probably one of the most appropriate posts to actually make this happen. But if you notice, whenever I do the McDojo breakdowns instead of the news stories, I always have a Dillman scale where there's a George Dillman's head, and we use him as an example of what not to do, based on a scale of 1 Dillman to 5. 1 being not so bad, but not great, to 5 being absolutely insane, you believe you have magic powers. So for this particular video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a Miyagi. Just a Miyagi who's approving, because that's what's needed right now. You need a little approving Miyagi in this video. So I salute you, Ruth. Here's your Miyagi. You're awesome. Now, I always add a question at the end of my videos to see who's actually paying attention and actually listening, so I'm going to add a question of the day today as well. Do you know of any women who have trained martial arts because of domestic violence? If so, I'd be really interested in hearing those survival stories and hearing how martial arts has inspired them, or if you're the woman yourself, inspired you. I am so looking forward to see what you guys have to say about this in the comment sections below. As always, thank you all for the likes, comments, shares, subscriptions, and all that other crap people online tell you to do. Keep the martial arts legit.
He call himself Seafood Paul Zimmerman. He got a dojo with a strip mall near Cinnabon. Now she spends all day trying to break boards with her thoughts, but the only thing she's breaking is my little heart. Things just savage.